Okay. This is going to be the next episode of skill update that goes along with the previous update for the next box. This has to do with a new Soulburner Flame alt character that was released like 4 days ago from when this related video is going to be released. But the first skill that was released, well, the first skill that you get more or less by just unlocking the character in and of itself by doing the normal Duel Links grind is Awaken Reincarnation Power. The skill states that you can use the skill's second effect once per duel. The first effect is, at the beginning of the duel, add 2 Summon Great Pyro Phoenix to your extra deck. And the second effect is, can be used before your normal draw if your life points are 3,000 and below. When the cards from your normal draw, this turn would be a random Fire Cypress monster from your deck. So, it is both a draw sense skill, it's a draw sense skill, like draw sense fire down here, and basic character add to the extra deck skill, like, you know, Yusei's Stardust Dragon skill or Playmaker's Storm Access. That skill is like more so like a starter skill, or like a skill if you want to do specific things with Summon Great Pyro Phoenix. I guess you can, like, if you really want to, you can get like 5 Summon Great Pyro Phoenix into your extra deck, but that's his own thing. But next skill that most people are probably using is Soulburner Link. You unlock it by summoning Summon Great Pyro Phoenix 2 times in one duel using the Soulburner and Flame alt character. So most people will probably be using Awaken Reincarnation Power in order to actually unlock this skill. This is a very Soulburner and Flame like skill, because it, like, you'll see as I read it. So, Soulburner Link. You can only use this skill's second and third effect once per duel. The first effect is, you cannot normal or special summon monster except summon great monsters, excluding special summons from the extra deck. During your opponent's turn, you can only use a Link 4 monster as Link material once per turn. So, the first effect is more or less just a floodgate that the skill puts on yourself that makes you only to be able to use summon great monsters, and the second effect is another floodgate that only allows you to use Pyro Phoenix as Link material on your opponent's turn to do a pop once. So you can't just keep on looping Pyro Phoenixes in order to go into multiple pops on your opponent's turn with this skill activated, because I think it gains you too much advantage or something, but that's his own thing. The second effect is, send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard, then add 1 Summon Great of Fire and 1 Summon Great Burning Shell from outside of your deck to your hand. And add 3 copies of 2 Summon Great Link monsters with different names from outside of your deck to your extra deck. If only your opponent controls a card, you can also take 1 Summon Great monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or play it in face down defense position. Its battle position can be changed. So, the first effect just more or less allows you to discard a card to add Summon Great Fire and Summon Great Burning Shell to your deck. So it gives you 2 cards for the cost of 1, and you can do combo up with these 2. Then the third effect, the first effect, the third effect is actually part of the first effect, but it adds 2 copies of Summon Great Links and Summon Great Sunlight Wolf to your extra deck. It says 2 Summon Great Link monsters, but with 2 Summon Great Link monsters to different names from outside of your deck to your extra deck, but it actually just means these 2. 3 copies of these 2 to your extra deck. So, with the Duel Links level of 9 cards in your extra deck plus these 2, 3 copies of these 2, it goes up to 15. And I guess they just want you to keep on looping, but that's his own thing to be talked about later. And then the last effect is more or less a combat tool or a going second tool that allows you to put more cards on the field or add them to your hand. And the third skill is Ignis Soul. Ignis Soul. You can obtain this skill by normal or special summon Fire Cyrus monsters 20 times using the Soulburner and Flame alt character. And it states that you can use this skill's second and third effects once per duel if your deck, excluding your extra deck, contains 6 or more Fire Cyrus monsters. The first effect is, during this duel, the first time your life points would be reduced to 0 by battle damage, your life points would be reduced to 1 instead. The second effect is, if you have 1 life points left, make one Link 3 or higher, summon a great Link monster you control, gain 1,000 attack until the end of the turn. So, the first effect is more or less just like a Soulburner Great version of Grit. The old Grit skill, like original Grit skill, in which only really activates via battle damage instead of, any form of damage. Whether it's effect damage or, I guess if you pay life points you still would die to that, but you know what I mean. Well, the second effect is just like a super comeback skill. Like, if they did OTK you or whatever, and you were able to survive, you're able to come back with a summon great monster and get 1,000 attack to try and swing for game, or like get over something to bring the game back. And the third skill is Link Fire Rays. It's unlocked by summoning or Link summoning Link 3 or higher Fire type Link monsters 5 times using the Soulburner and Flame alt character. The skill states, you can use the skill's first and second effects if your extra deck contains a Fire Link monster. The first effect is, at the beginning of the duel, gain 1,500 life points. The second effect is, once per turn, during your main phase, make one face-up monster you control gain 300 attack until the end of this turn. It gains additional 500 attack until the end of this turn if there is a Fire Link monster and or Fire monster and a Link monster on your field or in the graveyard. So, the first effect is just the life points gained by playing Fire Link monsters in your extra deck, which can easily be attained. The second effect is attack boost if you just have a Fire Link monster in your extra deck. I think that's how it works. Never used one of these skills before. Yeah, that's how it is. You can only activate them if there's a Fire Link monster in your extra deck, so you gotta keep at least one Summon Great Link monster in your extra deck in order to actually activate the skill. But if you have a Fire Link monster or a Fire and or Link monster, both the Fire monster and a Link monster in your graveyard, it doesn't necessarily have to be a Fire Link monster in your graveyard. You just need the Fire monster and a Link monster, or a Fire Link monster in your graveyard, able to get a 500 attack point boost on one of your monsters. So, and that's about it for the new skills that were added in the last update, as far as Soulburner in the previous video. Now, I'm about to get doing the whole Dragon Mates thing. But see you guys next time, whoever's watching this, render me. Johnny.